Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Razer Onza Xbox 360 controller, the Tournament Edition version. The main selling point of this controller is that it has adjustable joysticks. See those gears right there? You can turn those gears left or right to make the controller joysticks more or less sensitive. Turning them right makes them stiffer, turning them left makes them looser. There's also a few other pretty cool things about this controller. These buttons right here are micro buttons. I'm not sure what the exact terminology is, but they're just little micro switches. They're a lot easier to push than the standard Xbox controllers. I'll see if you can hear it. They're very easy to push, and you can hit them really quickly, which is pretty awesome. The next big feature on this controller is that it has programmable bumpers. These top bumpers right here, you can program these to any button combination or any button you want. So say in Call of Duty, if you're a big drop shotter, you can program this right here to B and drop shot people really easily. And that's why this controller is banned from tournaments and stuff. They made a big deal on their website about how this controller is banned from all the tournaments, and that's why. It's because of this thing right here, how you can program this to drop shot or anything else really. And it's pretty awesome, especially in Call of Duty, Gears of War. It's a pretty good feature. The next thing, and another thing I don't like, and a big difference from the regular Xbox controller, is this D-pad. It only goes 4 ways. Now I know you're like, Zybak, what the fuck, they all go 4 ways. But if you notice on the regular Xbox controller, this pivots. It didn't used to. On the newer Xbox controllers, it has a little ball bearing system to where like you never have to take your thumb off of it. You never have to move your thumb around. You can go up, down, left, right, and never have to move your thumb off at all. With this, you can't really do that. You have to go bam, 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 bam. And again, they couldn't put this. I'm sure they would have put this on this controller, but Microsoft patented this. So yeah, GG Razer, you can't use that. But now let's talk about some of the problems, some of the things I didn't like about this controller. First of all, and this is a big one, I bought this controller because the adjustable joysticks are awesome, and I like my joysticks being stiff. Hee, inside joke. Your mom, whatever. I know that's gonna happen. But I like my joystick stiff. So I turned them all the way up, and it feels good. Like, I like the way that you know, I feel like I have a lot of control. But the problem is I can't push down. It takes so much effort to push down this thing, to sprint in Call of Duty, to push down the joystick button, and it shorts out. Another thing is that when you're playing Call of Duty and you have this push down, it'll like push itself back up, and it keeps shorting out. And I know a lot of people that have issues with that. And it's just, over time, it's just really fucking hard, and your hand starts getting sore because it's harder to push it down when it's tightened. When you loosen it all the way back up, it's really easy to click it down, and you notice it makes a different sound. And that's because the mechanism that makes this stiffer and looser is a spring. So when you tighten it down more, it makes the spring more tense, and it's harder to push this down. So that's just a big design flaw there. Another thing is that this controller is wired. I like leaning back in my chair playing. They don't make a wireless version. If they did, I'm sure, you know, they might be making one, but I like my wireless controller a lot. The next thing is that this controller has a lot of problems when it comes to just things shorting out, particularly the joysticks. Like, and when I say like shorting out, I mean like you'll be holding it down sprinting in Call of Duty, and then all of a sudden you'll just stop sprinting, and it's not because your character is like out of endurance or whatever. It just shorts out, and it doesn't make any sense why it does that. So, and I don't know, it kind of feels cheaper. I mean, I know it is cheaper, but it feels like it's a lot less durable. There's been a lot of problems on the forums. A lot of people are complaining that, you know, certain buttons stopped working, their right trigger stopped working, their left trigger stopped working. And it just doesn't feel as solid as this thing. This thing's heavier. It just feels, I don't know, it feels more intact in place. And I like the feel of the standard Xbox 360 controller a lot more. The only thing that I would switch between these two controllers is I love these micro buttons. This was such a good idea. If these micro buttons were on the standard Xbox 360 controller, this controller would be the best controller known to man. I love the standard Xbox controller. But my final thoughts on the Razer Onza is, I guess, I don't know. If you like to play with your joysticks loose, I'd say maybe give it a shot if you have some extra money. But I don't really think it's that great. I really wasn't a big fan. I used it for about a day, a day and a half, and then I went straight back to the Xbox 360 controller. I really like the wireless capability, and I don't know. I mean, this isn't a bad controller. Maybe they fixed the quality issues with things shorting out, but my controller still shorts out with the Call of Duty sprinting. You'll be holding this down, and it'll just stop, and it doesn't make any sense. But my final thoughts, I don't know. Give it a shot if you want to. I personally don't like it, but it's all preference. And anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little review. This was one shot, one take. And yeah, hopefully it helps you decide whether you want to buy this or not.